Hello, David here from the Virginia Harp Center and Atlanta Harp Center. Thanks for joining me today. I thought it'd be interesting to look back at Camac as they introduced their new generation harps back in 1996. This marks their 25th anniversary in the harp market. That was the Clio, the Athena, and the Atlantide models that they introduced back then. And when they were designing these harps, they went and basically talked to harpists to ask them what they would like to see in a new harp. And mostly all came back with the same thoughts: less weight, easier to play, less maintenance, maybe a longer warranty, less regulations. So Camac, when they introduced this, I think they hit a lot of those buttons in doing that. So what I thought I'd do is just talk a little bit about that today. I'm joined with Amy Roberts here, doing the camera work, and let's take a look. This is an Athena here. I'm going to first talk about string ergonomics that Camac did. They, if you look at their positioning of their strings, what they did was to make a little more space in the treble range of the harp, down low where your hand would rest. And then as you progress further down the bass line, they brought that space so there's a little more space in the mid and upper section of the bass notes. So really, if you have large hands, you'll find it a little more comfortable to play. What did they also do? They also came about with pedal felts. You know, one of the problems with pedal felts is that they compress. So these felts are made out of a synthetic material. These are about 15 years old, never been replaced, and they are smooth, work fine, and maybe you won't need to replace them for another 15 years. One of the other things that Camac did is they made their string holes a little bit larger, and in doing so, they kind of took out the problem of string ends or string anchors folding up and getting locked in place in the holes. And what Camac uses, I'm going to grab this string here in front of Amy, is they use a wooden dowel at their string anchor, and you can see that, and that does not pull through. That holds steady, gives you a good knot, and holds in place, so you don't have to have concern about a string in collapsing and breaking or getting stuck in the string hole. Now, to take some weight off the harp, one of the big things Camac did, and it also adds sturdiness, I'm going to take this top column piece off, is that they made their column itself out of carbon fiber. and then they put a wood veneer around it, but this is carbon fiber. It's not a huge piece of wood. They're very strong. We've been selling Camacs for 25 years. I've never seen one warp or fail. So that's kind of an interesting design there. They also will use, let me set this down, for their pedal rods, they'll use an aircraft cable instead of a solid pedal rod. And it's a little hard to see it here, but we're going to go under the underside of a harp and make that adjustment. But you can actually, with what Camac gives you in your toolkit when you buy their harps, is that they give you this little, we call it the lead doohickey, but it's really a pedal rod regulator. And you can actually adjust a little bit of the overmotion of the pedal cables as they stretch, in time. I'm going to step over to this this Atlantide over here. Bear with me, and we're going to make this adjustment. Now, it does take two people doing this because you've got to lay the harp down. First thing you do is you put all your pedals in sharp. So I've already done it on this harp, but my pedals are all in sharp. And then I'm taking this pedal rod tuner, and there's a little hole that opens up. This one's already in place. So that fits in the hole, and then up top there's a little ground button. This is a little piece, and it just fits in the top there to make a ground. And what happens when everything is kind of back at factory settings, you're going to get a contact to where you're going to hear this contact. That is right before factory settings. So when I take and tighten the cable up just a little bit, it's going to make that buzz or that beeping noise disappear. All right, so I'm going to bring the harp down, and I will rest it on a little cushion. There's that. Be right back. Now my pedals are all in sharp. We're going to get down here low and we're going to take this first one because it's easiest to see, and I'm going to move it from sharp to natural. And I don't know if you can hear that. It's emitting a little beep. So I'm going to come down. You can see your cables here. And I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to tighten the cable to right where that beep goes away. And there it's gone. And so that's how you adjust the overmotion of your pedal rod or your pedal cable. Then I put it back in sharp, and I do the next one. Now the next one's not beeping. So when it's not beeping, I will back it off till it beeps. There it goes. And then I'll tighten it back up just so it's not touching that little pedal rod regulator. And that's how simple that is. And you do it for each note of on your harp, each pedal, and it's pretty simple to do. I'm going to lift this back up.
Show the string nuts.
One of the other nice things that Camac has come with is on their bass notes, their bridge pins, they have these little cams. They're made out of a hard rubber material, but you can adjust your bass wires as the harp ages and the board comes up a little bit. Your bass wires might not be centered. We might want to go back over to this other harp, because what you can see is you can center it, since you can loosen this up, adjust it, so you can move your bass wire to the right or to the left to center it right in the center of the disc as the harp ages. And so that's really a nice item too. What Camac did also, maybe about 10 years ago, is they started offering a 10-year warranty on their harps. I think they're the only one in the industry to do that. And invite anyone and everyone to call the stores, visit our websites. If you have any questions about Camacs, we would love to talk to you about it. And we're excited to see what the next 25 years has in store with Camac and their harps. Thanks again for joining today, and we'll see you next time.